There's that story in the Bible in which Jesus is carrying his cross, and there are a group of women weeping for him. And he says, "Do not weep for me, women, rather weep for your children." It makes you wonder what that story, what that moment signifies. I was reading this book recently, and it's called Poland's Holocaust by Tadeusz Petrovsky. It's really about the genocide of the Polish people, both Jewish and non Jewish, by the Nazis and the Soviets. And in this book, it recounts a story in which a Polish family was hiding a Jewish family from the Gestapo. Uh, there were tens of thousands of Gestapo agents and Nazi collaborators who were roaming around Poland looking for Jewish people to send off to the death camps and to the labor camps. And this Jewish family that was hiding in this Polish family's home, they had a young boy, a young toddler. And this toddler was extremely energetic. You could not control this toddler. He would run around, scream, make all sorts of noise and commotion. And the Polish family was very worried that if the little Jewish toddler was ever heard, that the Gestapo would raid his home and not only kill the Jewish family, but kill the Polish family as well. So one day the child was screaming and leaping and making all sorts of ruckus. And the Polish man went to the Jewish family and he said, "Listen, I know that I'm hiding you guys, but if the child continues to make noise, I'm going to have to throw you guys out." So they told the child to be quiet, and the child ceased his commotion. But eventually, the child was back at it, and they would have to tell the child to stop, and the child would stop. But then the child eventually would start screaming and running around. The father of the child was so frustrated that he lunged at the boy and grabbed his neck, and he did not let go. The man's brother approached him and put his hand on the father's arm. And the father said, "Should I let go?" And his brother was shaking, and his mind went into hysteria. "No," he said. "Yes, no, yes, no, no, don't let go. He may still be alive, and if you let him go, he may start screaming. Yes, yes, finally, finally, let him go." The father let him go, and the boy just dropped to the floor, his tongue hanging from his mouth. They checked his pulse, and he was dead. The father went to his knees and began to pull his hair, but he could not scream, lest he be heard by the watchers, the listeners. The mother sat herself in a corner and began to pull her hair, but she could not scream, lest she be heard by the watchers and the listeners who were outside, roaming around in the night. "Do not weep for me, rather, weep for your children."